Welcome to Share With Your Sister podcast. My name's Alex.
And I'm Michaela. This is episode 6.
Yes. Right.
Alex has said that, you don't really need to say the number of the episodes, but I quite like it because I'm quite looking forward to when it gets like, 67, 66, and you're like, episode 66, and people go, hey, you've been doing that a while.
You need to hang up your microphones. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe people like it. Like, this is the first one we've recorded since it came out.
Since you came out?
No, that was a long time ago. No, since it came out. It's been really nice reception.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say I don't feel like much negative feedback. The only one thing someone said was, "Could you put subtitles?" Did you see that one?
No, I didn't.
So could be something to think about.
That's actually hilarious. Was it someone we obviously didn't know then?
Well, I didn't know them. You must know them, right? They just said, I don't know.
Unless they were trying to make a joke.
Could be.
Do you reckon they meant with the clip or on the YouTube?
They didn't specify.
Where did you see it?
Well, it can't be on the clip because the clip has it. That says.
Oh yeah.
It was on there. It was there. So just thought it was a bit of a moment we could do subbies. Everyone loves a subtitle anyway.
I thought that there were anyway, but I haven't watched the full episode on YouTube.
I have. I know. I haven't even done. It's completely lied. I've done about 3 seconds because when I see you watching yourself, you're just like, I'm gonna be sick. So it's just to mention that was it. I wouldn't even say it was negative, but it was just a bit of feedback.
I feel like that was someone taking the piss because the voice, yeah.
And it was a good
Scouts being like, put some subtitles on, Gail.
Yeah, that is true actually, but
it's
not even as if like dead Scouts.
No, I know.
Like, not like posh, I don't mean that, but like,
it's really like
really Scouts, yeah.
No.
But, maybe it's just because I speak quite fast.
Although, you know what though, I went to Ghana when I was 18, white saviour moment, doing a bit, and me and my mate.
I don't even know what that means.
Okay, so it's basically like nowadays people say that actually it was quite the way a lot of people were going over to places in Africa or Asia and like getting pictures with children that were like black or brown and that were like less fortunate, like had no shoes or whatever, that it was quite icky and quite performative. And so they call it like white saviour. The one thing I would say is that we were in a school, we were working in a school, they were buzzing that we were there. And we took pictures more to just remember the time, I think. And there's so where I stayed in a novitiate, which was it was basically like a Christian Brother compound thing that they had in Ghana because my school was a Christian Brother school and it was like a combined effort to get us there. What are you talking about?
A Christian Brother school, so I was like, you're like from America or something, that was like Christian Brother school.
No, Christian Brother is an organisation, it's very problematic in itself, but we went over and there was a housekeeper called Gifty, and she would say every day when we saw her, she would say, have a nice day. And anytime anyone says it, like in work, I think about her a lot.
Oh.
I know, and it's like, I remember like this is actually like probably one of the things that I was like, whoa, that made me realise, I think growing up, in a privileged situation where you've got a house and, you don't have to think about certain things. Like, I remember when we were leaving, I have nosebleeds fairly often, and it still happens. Like, not often enough to get it cauterised, but like, still happens. But when it happened, I was in bed reading a book, and I had my mosquito net over me, and it happened, and I was like, whoa, and so it went all over the net. And then I was like, great. I was like, Mozzie's going to be like, hello. And then, yeah, philosophy. And so I was like,
surely it's not like to get to pray on it, not like be that, like, where's the what to be saying, like when people are like trying to, what's Flirt.
What, that I was just laying there, just being a slag of blood.
Like, oh God, there's no chase. It's just there on there.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe that's why I didn't get bit. But obviously with malaria and stuff, it was a problem. But yeah, it wasn't loads of blood, but when you think it was a net, so any of it was like there. And so I got out, and then when I came back, I was like, fuck's sake. But Gifty was like, my mate was like, oh, you can have my mosquito net, because she had like 7 kids and one of them had passed away. Was it malaria? No, Helen did give me. No, as if Helen was like, I'm going to fight for myself, I think, thanks. Helen was like, you're an idiot. No, she wasn't. But at the end of it, when we were leaving, she had like 7 kids, and like one of them passed away from malaria. And so she was like, Helen was like, oh, there's my mosquito net. And I was like, I'd give you mine, but mine's got like a patch of red blood on it. What's she throw wash that? I think I just didn't get a chance to, because of when it happened.
Oh, we were there for afterwards.
I don't know.
3 extra weeks.
No, but I think I was probably thinking, like, I was like, but I want it to be over my bed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's how I can see.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I like kind of tucked it in. I kept it really thin. Helen was honestly a fucking madman. She just like, as long as it was casually draped over her body, she was like, I'll be fine. Whereas mine was like OCD, tuck. No, but I think I was so scared about getting it, because I was just so, like, I was like, oh, I'll probably get it out of anyone. And so I said, oh, you probably won't want mine. And she was like, no, like, I'll have it. And also,
she probably washed it first.
No, to be fair, you know what? I probably did wash it, but blood's really hard to get out of stuff, which I know because of my job. It takes it's salt actually is the thing. I think it's only people who work in bloods, I don't know who said that on the podcast, but as well as during stand-up. A vampire. And then, so because of that, I think it's only us and serial killers that know how to get blood out of stuff. It's like salt, basically.
Now.
Yeah. If any serial killers are listening. But yes, salt.
I also had wine.
Oh, don't know. Never tried it.
Yeah.
I also feel like serial killers could, well, me particularly, stay away from white wine, but I feel like serial killers, like, when any evidence could mean you, like, in America, like, getting the death chair or whatever, like, the death row, I wouldn't want to be tipsy. Do you know what I mean? Well, I guess they wouldn't drink it.
No, they've put up the carpet, and also I reckon it'd be out maybe a year before they even get sentenced. They're not going to just do it on the day. Hey, I just seen you licking the wine. Get here, in that chair now, douche.
No,
you go to jail.
No, I just mean that it's like if you had a sip while you were doing it.
Oh, right.
That, like, you do meticulous. I'm not being like a celebratory glass of wine. I'm being like, if they like put it over and then they go, oh, let me taste it. And then they're like, it's a bit nice. And then they just leave it. And then people go, did you kill someone in the living room?
You know what you meant? Drink the wine out on the blood and do that. And then all of a sudden, like, the police come. And you've had a bottle of wine while you've been doing it. And then they go, right, that's it now. On that chair, dead. That's what you meant. You know, as in, like, literally, it was from, like, the moment you're trying to cover up your tracks, the police have come, seen you pissed, get you in the electric chair, you know? And I thought you would want to, you didn't want to be drunk doing that or you dead.
Oh, that you'd be like, it's disrespectful to be pissed in the electric chair.
I just thought you meant, like, I just thought you meant that, basically.
You'll find this way funnier than I'm like, I don't understand.
What I mean is, like, we start going, so what I mean is, I thought you meant that you didn't want to be pissed in the electric chair dying. But I was like, Alex, it's not going to be that quick. As in, like, you're not going to kill someone, cover up your tracks, the police get you, and throw you in the chair, or slide off on bender.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what I meant.
Oh, right.
But I get what you meant to.
Wow, that was crazy. I can't remember why I started that thing. I went to Ghana when I was 18,
I went to South Africa and I was also 18.
White Saviours, that's what we should rename the podcast. But I can't remember why I was mentioning it. What were we talking about? I know, this is so bad.
But all I'll say is that I went to South Africa when I was 18 and we didn't have any issues with malaria, but we did live in this like couple's farm, and they had 8 dogs.
I remember that.
And 3 cats.
Yeah.
And at this stage I didn't have a dog or a cat and I didn't like them either. And so when they said, oh, hey, like, come in, we've got 8 dogs, and I'm thinking,
that's what they answered the door with. Hey, we've got 8 dogs.
They didn't answer the door. They were away. They were away. And so it was like the uncle or something that come and, you think so, as if I'd ever let my kids do this now. But yeah, they said, I'll go, hi. I can't remember her name. Eleanor, her name was. Eleanor and what's his face? Thomas, possibly. Are away, so it's me looking after you this weekend. But just to let you know, we've got 8 dogs and 3 cats. And I said, they don't bite, do they? And he went, and he couldn't give me an actual answer. And honestly, I literally stayed. I mean, the lads that I was travelling with, I think they could probably vouch for me, but I stayed in the room that whole weekend until Eleanor come back, and she said, don't worry about it. It's okay. You can come out now.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah, I don't think they'll like you.
To be fair, we had a dog on the novitiate called Rex, who also scared the living daylights out of me. And it was one of them. I had a rabies jab, which is the worst jab I've ever had. It feels like... What's it called? God, but it's like putting a sugar cube in your arm. That's what rabies felt like. The jab of rabies felt like. It was the worst jab I've ever had. And so I knew I was like protected, but obviously it was more the fact of getting bit that you're like, ah! And I love dogs as well, but like at the time Rex did not play, and when we got there we only met them for a couple of days, and then they went on a retreat to the sea, which was really nice because some of the brothers that lived there, there were like 20
what brothers are they?
Yeah, there were 20 brothers that were like training to be brothers essentially, and some of them were from landlocked countries, so they'd never seen the sea before. So it was really beautiful for them. We weren't there, obviously, but they were there. And so it was just me, Helen, and the caretaker, and who was this fella who couldn't speak any English, so we couldn't speak any, how's the show about? Barney, I think, was the dialect. But, it was only for a weekend, so we did a similar thing. We just kind of like hunkered down. We got a taxi, we could get taxis, but I remember we got one of the taxis we got in 50p. We got on the taxi, and he was so close to the bottom of the floor, like the bottom of the car was so close to the ground. He went over a speed bump, and then it was so violent getting over it that he then was like, fuck it, I'm not going that way. But then had to still go back reverse back over it and went a different way. And it's like, but if you just took the end of the car over, maybe you'd be alright. But anyway, but yeah, the caretaker. And then that weekend we had a power cut. Helen was in the shower washing her hair when it happened, and so I was in bed reading a book. Had me torch under me. Well, no, actually the power cut hadn't happened yet, so I was in bed reading a book, and Helen, all of a sudden lights went out. Helen went, and I was like, "Are you okay?" She was like, "But it was cold water as well, so it's cold water in the dark."
Always cold water.
Yeah, always cold water for 6 weeks, and then. And so, like 2 months. And then, and then I just kept reading my book with just my torch under my chin. But I was like, are you all right? And she was like, oh, just like,
she didn't even get out and help her.
What the fuck was I? She was pissed.
Might not been able to see where the towel was.
No, I think the towel was like, it was a really small cubicle and the towel was like there, probably. And so we just got in bed and it was like, night. Yeah, Helen did, yeah. I know. I don't think she cared though. She's like force of nature.
Is she?
Yeah.
Still relaxed.
Yeah. Horizontal. Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, less so as we've grown up, but as an 18-year-old, yeah.
It was like that. Just like the least. Like I think I'm literally like a coiled spring. Do you know what? Actually, go back to the podcast, and obviously it's just been released last week and whatnot. Friend of mine.
I remember why. I'm so sorry, we're like halfway through as well, it's crazy. But basically, we were in the staff room one day, and one of the teachers came up to us and said, "What other languages, what other languages do you speak?" And me and Helen were like, like Helen did Spanish and French at A-level, I think, but not really. And they were like, "No, but you're just speaking a different language together." And we were like,
So nice.
"Girl, yeah."
So
We were like, "We're just speaking Scottish." Yeah. Just speaking Scottish, we're just speaking. And obviously Helen's like similarly.
I think she's like the posher.
Yeah. So like accent wise,
Yeah,
like
she's
you
hardly
like,
got the posher.
you know what?
I
I don't know if I can say it.
Don't say it then on, because they'll be a little bit PC on these things.
It's not PC though.
Oh, I don't know.
No, yeah, fair.
Tell me later.
Okay, I'll tell you.
I don't understand what you can talk
Yeah.
about it. So.
That's fair. No, it's not. It's nothing bad, but it's about like.
It's easy. You're just being slow.
Okay.
This is like
yeah, fair.
the
No,
best
but I feel
things
like
come
not
to the
explaining it
of
is
one minute,
worse.
one minute explain.
So it's basically like I can probably actually do a variation on it.
Oh my god! I think it's going to stick on.
Mine doesn't have a light on either.
Well, you haven't turned yours on even.
Why?
You probably don't know. It's going to flash.
Do you? No.
Keep going for the best.
Yeah. We can probably keep that in. Just be like, we're fucking thick as fuck.
No. When it comes to stuff like this, I hadn't noticed that.
Well, I said, is the other one on? And you said, yeah.
Which now makes sense as to why the two lights
weren't on. I say, thank you. Can't do everything. I can liaise with the editor, and I can pay the editor, and I can charge stuff. I can't lead a horse to water. Apparently, can't make him drink it. Jeez. I used to have a joke about that.
What?
That I don't understand the phrase, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink it. And then I'd go, because you can just do that. And then I'd be like that. And then I was like, this was a little bit rude, but then it's not that bad. It's not really like overt, but I basically was like, oh, some men are looking at me like I'm evil when like this is your favourite thing. So that's not that bad. That's just physical comedy. Anyway,
This is what I was going to say about the podcast was, the podcast so far. My friend had gone, "Do you know what, again? I know you love to talk, but Jesus, your sister never shuts up."
Oh, no, 100%. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, I should let her speak once in a while.
Yeah. I was like, "Hey, I went to South Africa." Cool.
Have you got any funny stories from South Africa?
Tons. I don't think of them right now. No. Only like they obviously a joke about. Well, it wasn't a joke. It was like real life.
All the dogs.
All the dogs.
Banter.
Yeah.
Dog banter.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other stuff, but probably not one of those things.
Oh, the thing I was going to say about Helen.
Oh yeah.
So Helen works.
What about you?
No, there's something
Stories of shit.
No, so it was like Helen works with kids. I'm not going to say in what capacity because that keeps the illusion alive. For her work stuff, but basically she worked with a family, and it was like all the kids were named after like pop stars. So say it was like Dua for Dua Lipa, Taylor for Taylor Swift, Beyonce or whatever, Rihanna, yeah. And then there was one kid called like Sue. Yeah, I know. And we were trying to work out, I was howling the other night, but then it was like, because we were going, oh, poor Sue, like all the others are named after divas. And it was like, but actually, as an adult, would you prefer to be called Sue? Because like,
you could be called Susie, couldn't you, rather than Beyonce? Like, I met a little kid the other day called Renner, and I was like, oh, cool.
I've met a kid called Renner as well.
Yeah, and like, great story. And she didn't know the reference. She didn't know the reference because obviously she was about 6, so she didn't really know who Rihanna was. But obviously then I'm looking at the mum thinking, she thought she killed Rihanna. I hope you like the name, and it wasn't because of the actual artist.
You know what though as well, doesn't that show that Rihanna has been making babies for too long and hasn't released music in 10 years? That the kids do not know the whole Rihanna struggles.
Yeah.
They just know her as a beauty mogul.
Yeah. Give it a due. She's doing well at that.
Oh, she's killing it. Like, she doesn't need to. But she's excellent at making music.
She's really good, actually, Renner. Yeah, God, you don't really have an idea. So, yeah, what's happened?
Who was it who said I talk too much?
My friend Nick. Honestly, Michaela, I mean, she loves to talk as well, like apps, obviously. Sometimes when it's me and her, I feel like it's two ADHD buddies getting together, just like, and we just can't get our words out quick enough, even though we've just seen each other at the school like 3 seconds before, honestly. But yeah, she said, oh, can't your sister? You know, I know you like to talk, but your sister can't get a word in it. And I thought to myself, that's hysterical. But I guess, like, because of the clips that I've seen so far, obviously the 2 clips have been mostly me talking. I feel like then people must think, oh, she never shuts the fuck up. But actually, it's supposed to say.
That's really good, actually, for me to be like, yes, Steve. Shut up, Nick. Speaking of bunnies, I killed a bunny the other day.
No.
Yeah. Not like you're making me sound like as if you think I'm wrangling its neck. Obviously in the car. So I've been doing comedy.
She's probably driving too fast.
I was on the country road. I was supposed to be driving fast. No, so I've been doing stand up for 7 years, and in that time I've killed a bird in a hole.
I think you should say this.
I didn't mean to. Like every single time I tried to swerve.
Yeah, but I think you have to go to the RPCA for all of them.
No, you don't.
Just a stop. That's the Queen's thing.
It's the Queen's bird or whatever. Yeah. But then also, how the fuck are you killing a swan accidentally?
I did think that, actually.
Like, that's crazy. Whereas all of these, it was driving on a motorway. So there was no way. And so the first one was in Hull, which I kind of understood. Because I was like, I would also be depressed. And it was like the bird was committing suicide. Like, it was like full on walking into the road. Devastated. Looked in my back window. It was like the shittest gender reveal I've ever seen. It was like grey. It was really sad. Then killed a fox about a year ago, and it ran out, saw the car, and then tried to run back. And I was luckily I was with other comedians to calm me down because I was like devastated.
Sorry, I missed a bit. I must have just switched off for a sec. It ran into the road, you hit it, and then it ran up.
No.
Sorry.
No, it like, because obviously the speed you're going on like 70 miles per hour or whatever. And also, you know what? They say, like, you know, I think I'm really good at staying in the lane I'm supposed to be in. So I'll, like, you know, if the roads are clear, I'll get back into the left lane.
Yeah.
Like, who's just chilling in the third lane? Like, you're absolutely mental, crazy. Also, I'm not a middle lane hogger. But that instance made me want to do it.
What, be in the middle lane?
Because I was in the left lane. No thanks for it. Killed the fox.
In the slow lane?
Yeah, but because it was really late at night coming back from a gig, there was no cars. So obviously that's where you're supposed to be. Yeah. When you're not trying to get round someone, that's where you're supposed to be. And then, basically it ran out, it got past my car, and then saw another car and ran back, and that's when I hit it. It all happened in like 2 seconds, but it was devastating. And then
through these, because honestly,
they're not
people want to hear about your road rage and killing.
It's not road rage. Oh my god, roadkill. Yeah, roadkill's fine. And then we killed Bunny.
It's quite sad, actually. Yeah, well, I went to see a film, and it was called Kangaroo. Sorry. It's the shittest film I've ever watched in my life. Like, sorry for the makers of Kangaroo and the
cinema.
Yeah. We have this, like, unlimited pass. I don't know if I've mentioned it before on this, but got this, all my mates now, because I've gone on about it so much, got this unlimited 3-month pass. It's come up for expiry on the 19th of February. I'm absolutely devastated. But I tell you what, we have used it like there's no tomorrow. I'll tell you what, I've seen Wicked, Avatar, Zootropolis, Home Alone, Bad Guys. I'm going to see Bad Guys 2, I think it was actually. Wuthering Heights, I'm going at the weekend.
Nice, me too.
Oh, I hope you're not going on the same day.
Wuthering, by the way, not Withering.
Has it always been Wuthering?
Yeah.
Oh, Wuthering then?
Famously, yeah.
I didn't think it's Wuthering, actually. And I thought to myself, oh, maybe it's just like a new version of it. But anyway, Wuthering Heights. I'm going to see that at the weekend. I went to see Ghost last weekend with the kids. brilliant.
Yeah, it looks fab.
100% need to go and see that again.
Yeah.
Went to that kangaroo, it was shit. And so, I mean, she went to see Housemaid too.
Wow.
And honestly, we have had our money's worth in this time of the year.
Yes.
And I would definitely suggest that anybody who's thinking about it for the winter months, get it. Because honestly, you know, rather than going to soft play with the kids, you're literally there. Like, for us as a family of four, it's 36 quid to go to the pictures, where it's obviously not free, but you paid like 3 months.
Yeah.
And it was like £42.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Amazing.
It was brilliant. It comes up for renewal. Well, we're obviously not going to renew it on the 19th of Feb. But where was going? But it's, oh yeah, kangaroo. So I went to this film called Kangaroo, which was shit.
How many killed kangaroo? Driver.
That's what happened in the film.
Oh,
And
really?
Yeah, and that's how then he started opening a kangaroo sanctuary.
Wow. My mate didn't do that.
That's not what I thought. But then he was going,
My mate was devastated though, like, had to get out of the car and sit down and stuff, like.
Yeah.
And also the car was fucked.
oh, actually, do you know what?
It was in Australia as well. Wasn't
Yeah.
it? In Bolton.
He drove, the guy in the film, he drove and he hit a kangaroo and the Joey was in there. So he took the Joey and he was like, I'll have to find somewhere for this Joey because he felt terrible. And then they were like, it's not a, what do they call it, like a species. Like, basically, it's not a species that we can, like, you know, we need to look after kind of thing. They're just going to, like, you know, you kind of take it to a sanctuary or, like, you'll just have to let it go. Honestly, I think that must be a thing. And there must be like a cat or something, I don't know, in Australia, like a kangaroo. There's so many of them, maybe.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess that they're like, well, we're not going to look after it. Like, it's not, it can't become a house kangaroo. Yeah,
that is true, actually, yeah. So anyway, he ended up then. It was like based on a true story. Sorry to the fella, again, I feel awful saying this now, but like, sorry to the fella who that story was about.
The film. I saw the advert, actually, and
That's not like me, so I don't fall asleep on any film. I always
That's so funny.
we had a little snooze because and then I woke up to the part where, I mean, obviously it's about a kangaroo reception, but then next minute they're in this like village and they're pretending that they're in a boat, but there's no water. And you know, you just wake up and you're like, what the fuck have I missed here? And I was just like, oh well, let's just keep going. I couldn't put the two parts together if I tried, and I don't know how long I was out for.
Wow.
Yeah, honestly. But yeah, I fell asleep. It was like, sorry to the fella whose story that is. I do feel about that.
Well,
It is what it is. I just went to see Goat this weekend. It was brilliant. It wasn't about a goat. Well, it was about a goat, but it was about the greatest of all time being a basketball player and the kids.
and it was it.
And it was a goat.
I
That
bet
was-
it's great.
yeah, it was-
I thought fun.
I'd go and see it again. It was that good.
Nice.
But instead, I'm going to see Wuthering Heights on Sunday. When are you going?
Like,
Oh, I've got
on my own.
Love it. Love it. It's easy to go with you.
No, but honestly,
Off Rich. Would you?
oh, no, I'm seeing it in Leicester.
You
There for the festival.
You are. That's fine.
So I was like, oh, what should I do before my show? My show's not until 3:30. And so I was like,
Hang on. In the afternoon.
oh, 5:30 in the afternoon, in the evening, yeah. So I was like, oh, I want to do something. So
Yeah.
I'd be kicked out the
In less.
hotel at like 11 and I'm staying over because I've got a travel agent's got me a TV.
Travel business owner.
Yeah, and so I was like, what should I do? And I was like, I do definitely want to see it. So I was like, why not?
Brilliant.
So I'm going, yeah.
I mean, obviously, yeah, it's obviously. I mean, loads of people going to do pictures of them.
Yeah, oh my God.
I just see loads of people there on their own, but at the same time, I know it's a thing because I'm here. People say,
I've got
I think I could go on my own.
this, I'm trying to tell you this quick story. I went to, I had a gig in Saltburn, which is like by Newcastle ways.
Yeah.
Saltburn on sea or Saltburn by the sea. Don't know which one, sorry. People
It'll
know
be
it.
on, I reckon.
On sea. But basically, again, I was staying in a hotel, getting out at like 10, 11, but was gigging that night. And I was like, what should I do? Like, I'm there on my own all day. And so I was like, oh, I'll go to the Pickies. And the only thing that was on that I wanted to see was Matilda.
Brilliant.
And so I went on my own.
But, yeah.
Yeah, I was the only person without a child there. And so it was weird. And then I,
And in the daytime as well.
yeah. And then at one point, this was like, I was sat on the island and she was like, no, she was like, can I get out to take my kid to the toilet? I was like, yeah, of course. And I got up, tripped, and popcorn,
Oh.
everything. And I had a big bruise on my hip afterwards.
Oh.
And I just felt like everyone looked around and was a bit like, what was that dozy paedophile doing?
I'd have thought the same.
Yeah, it was bad.
I'd have been like, watch it. I've probably done the same thing. Got some weirdo in the back.
Without a child. But yeah, like I think, I don't know, I feel like I was a bit inconspicuous before then, and then they were like,
I thought it also probably brought that massive big suitcase that you take everywhere with you.
no, because I left it in the car. No, you mean the handbag.
Honestly, Alex has got the biggest bag I've ever seen in my life. And honestly, I'm like, what is in there? All you need is your phone, your keys, and a bit of lip balm. I swear she brings the kitchen sink with her every day.
No, I disagree with that. We saw like Sarah Millican was doing like a trial of new jokes and stuff when we were both there, and she did a bit about, she was like with the handbag, and she was like, I've got stuff if you need to shit yourself, I've got stuff if you don't want to shit yourself.
If you don't have any of that in the
No, I do.
Oh, right.
I do. I am that person. That's why me and my mum laughed, because we were like, haha, we're those people. But then there was like a Gen Z person on the front row, and she was like, what's in that? And it was like a little, like, you've got a little bum bag. And she was like, just my keys and my phone. And she was like, oh, God, that like gives me like panic attacks. And I was like, I'm that person. It scares me.
All right, well, when we're out and about next time, I'm going to ask for a new parents. So let's see if you've got a mini bag. Because what else?
A new pair of knickers. Oh no, it's more medication to stop you shitting yourself. I haven't got like every person's size of knickers in my bag. You're mad. That's the end of the episode.
Thank you again for watching. It took a toll. Sorry about the mics. Hopefully you could still hear it. And yeah, that was it. So what did we say, 6?
It's gone off again.
Oh, you are joking. Oh my god, -2. Oh, we haven't just. Oh, I don't know what we've done yet. We'll check it out and see how we get on. But yeah, episode 6. What's it gonna like, follow, subscribe?
Yes. My mum was like, how do I subscribe? I was like, so cute. No.
Okay, like,
you don't have a YouTube, babe, it's fine.
Like,
so
follow,
cute.
subscribe, listen on Spotify, listen on Apple Music, follow us on Instagram.
Every single one of them. Listen on every single possible platform.
It's only half an hour, hon. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, see you again soon.
Bye.